Welcome into the Rob Bro Show. I am Rob Bro. I am the host. You are the co-host. You can co-host today by dropping a comment on the starting line counseling chat line. That's right. The chat line, the comment section is now sponsored by our friend Chase Wade. Have you been struggling with depression, anxiety, mood disorder, or addiction? Whether you've been wanting to attend marriage counseling or you've recently gone through a divorce, maybe you just need someone to talk to who can help you tackle the day-to-day challenges of life. All of us have been through difficult times. None of us should go through them alone. Finding time to meet with a licensed mental health professional can be difficult when you have a busy schedule. Getting out of the office or away from home shouldn't be the reason you don't seek the help you need. Starting Line Counseling and Consulting is a therapy practice that is 100% telehealth based, so it's easy to meet with a licensed professional anytime, anywhere. Chase Wade, the GOAT, owner and founder of Starting Line Counseling and Consulting, is a two-time Texas Tech graduate and a licensed professional counselor with over 10 years of experience as a clinician. He also ran cross country at Texas Tech. Chase believes in establishing an authentic relationship with his clients and helping them set realistic objectives to reach their goals. Right. With the right help, you can accomplish anything. I know I've used therapy, especially telehealth, to find my way. You can too. Whether you're new to therapy or looking to continue care with a new therapist, don't waste any more time. Call 325-766-7284 or go to startinglinecounseling.com and schedule a free 15-minute consultation to get started with Chase today. All right. Here we go. This is the Rob Bro Show. We're back. Took a week off. The Talking Bro is on. That's right, Alan. Let's have a day, Luke. Let's have a day. Let's go. It's Wednesday morning. It's Power Ranking Wednesday. We'll do some power rankings in the MLB. It's almost All-Star Weekend, which means the season is nearly half over. The Major League Baseball draft is coming up. Who will the Texas Rangers get? We'll also have some Joe Toussaint talk, and we'll start with that. Grant McCasland has gotten another recruit and seemingly filled out his roster at 13. Joe Toussaint, a smaller player. You have one center on the roster, a couple of forwards. You're going to be small balling, but it's not the same as it was maybe last year when you're talking small ball or the year before. Robert Jennings, if he's playing center at times, that doesn't mean you have Joe Toussaint and Pop Isaacs and another 6'2" player on the floor all at the same time. I don't believe that'll be a lineup. Now, maybe Pop Isaacs and Joe Toussaint will play together. Joe Toussaint right at 6 foot. But you're not going to be able to play that way a lot in the Big 12. Now, Joe Toussaint has played in the Big 12. He spent last year at West Virginia, and that was his most prolific year in college basketball. So we know we can play in the Big 12. He started at Iowa for 3 seasons, averaged 6.5, 3.7, 4.3 in those 3 years. Points-wise, at 17 minutes a game, 11 minutes a game, and 17 minutes a game. He played 21 minutes a game last year for West Virginia. Played in all 34 games. Did not start a game for West Virginia. Nope, he started 1. Took about 5 shots a game. Scored about 10 points a game. So there you go. I do believe that Joe Toussaint was a good pickup, but more than just the pickup, I want to talk about Grant McCasland because both him and Coach Gerlich, if they get a player on campus, if they get them to take their visit, if they get them around the Womble, they're locked in. And that is a really, really good sign to come for the football facility. Recruiting could get even better, even though recruiting has been really good. You might bump from a top 20 class to a top 15 or 10 if you have great facilities. But the thought that the Womble can clinch, or whatever else is clinching these players once they get to campus, the fact that you have a full staff now, I feel 50 to 100 times better about Grant McCasland in the last week than I felt about him in a long time before. But the Womble selling recruits is awesome. And it's selling recruits for both the Lady Raiders and the Red Raiders. And if you can get them to campus, great. Great. And we said it was going to be the end of June before the roster was complete. I was not worried. I thought the staff completing in late June was a little bit of a disappointment. I don't know. Disappointment's the wrong word. I wasn't disappointed about it. I was just getting a little worried. But I knew it would be completed. And look, all before the school starts, like we said. All right, the starting line, chat line. The man himself, Chase Wade, day after 4th of July finger count. Got them all 10. They're all working. I didn't JPP myself. Overreaction Wednesday, the Rangers will trade for Cody Bellinger. The facilities sell themselves. Just get them to campus. Lubbock also has come a long way. I agree on that point as well. I think you can take them around Lubbock, and maybe that's one of the reasons that the basketball team and the football team have been so successful. You bring them here, and they're like, oh, this is what I've heard about Lubbock, and you can show them all the things that's wrong about. Especially an elder gentleman like Joe Toussaint, you can take him to the wineries, the eclectic restaurants, the chefy restaurants, the down-home restaurants, whatever you want to do. Take them out to Rajino Barbecue. Wherever you take them, it's going to be a brand new experience for somebody coming to Lubbock when it's rated as the most boring town in America. But some of these guys, especially the transfers, they're down to business. I don't think they care about the city as much. They're trying to win. And if you can get transfers to buy in to Texas Tech and a first-year head coach, and I know he's leaving West Virginia, but he was down between Kansas State and Texas Tech, and you've already lost a recruiting battle to Kansas State, and it seems like if Kansas State wants you, you're pretty good. I think you'll be playing a similar style to Kansas State that Kansas State played last year. Not the same style, but a similar style. And so, hey, I'm very happy with Joe Toussaint. Not specifically the player. Is what he is. I think he's going to be great off the bench. I don't think you went and got a starter, but he is also the 13th player you signed. I think he'll be a credible Big 12 bench role, just like he was last year at West Virginia. West Virginia, a pretty good team last year. Joe Toussaint was part of that. Yes, Alan, McGasland is 6 for 6 for getting guys to commit when on campus, and Gerlich was also perfect in this last class, getting people to campus and signing. So if she signed 5 and McGasland signed 6, you're 11 for 11 this offseason on visits and commits. The Womble. Facilities matter. Look at Kitley with the indoor. Tom Stone got a bump in recruiting when they built new facilities. Tom Stone's also getting another bump in facilities this offseason with a natural turf at the soccer complex. I hope that as soon as football is done, they announce a plan for baseball. See, baseball has already been underway as well. You have the brand new clubhouse, and then the old clubhouse is getting renovated. That's a $12 to $14 million project. So I would like another $30 million dropped onto the baseball field, but you are doing some things in baseball as well. I don't want to make it look like you're not. It also makes the negative recruiting look stupid when they show up to Lubbock and see it's a nice mid-sized city with all the amenities. Starting line, chat line is hot today. Thank you for chiming in. You can't recruit to Lubbock in the SpongeBob font, Alan. Let's go to some Major League Baseball power rankings. If y'all want to keep commenting on the basketball facilities, you certainly can. The Houston Astros, in my opinion, have shot up the power rankings in the last 2 weeks, mostly because they beat the Rangers 3 out of 4. I would still slot the Rangers slightly ahead, but we'll go through our top 5 here, as the Braves and the Rays have just been better than everyone else. The Braves losing a series, but they are 23-3 in the last 26. They are just on absolute fire. This month has been incredible. They've outscored their opponents by 82 this month. The Braves are the best team in baseball right now. Right behind would be the Tampa Bay Rays. I think the Texas Rangers are still right there at number 3, but I think it's a pretty good gap between the Braves, the Rays, and then the Rangers and Astros. I would put 3-4. I think the Astros have gotten that much better. Yordan Alvarez is nearly back. He's not back yet, but they've been playing well without him. When he comes back, they'll be even better. And of course, they did just take a tight 3 out of 4 in Arlington. Number 5, I don't know. The Diamondbacks, the Orioles, the Marlins, the Dodgers, one of those teams. The Marlins just get hammered by the Braves. The Orioles are 500 since the end of May, the week from the end of May. They're now 16-16 over the last 32. So I don't know who it is. I'll just say the Diamondbacks, even though Corbin Carroll getting hurt puts them on a little bit of a bend, I think. The Rangers need the All-Star break badly. I agree. They also need a couple of more trades. I think they need a bat. Mitch Garver, Josh Smith, those two guys, I think, shouldn't be involved if you're trying to get to the playoffs in the World Series. Mitch Garver's fine. Josh Smith is not. Josh Smith does not belong on a playoff team. The starting line, chat line. Rob, should Chapman be the Rangers' closer? He's being used as middle relief. Yeah, he's been here a week. That's what he was doing in Kansas City, but Kansas City didn't have any leverage opportunities. What's frustrating is Will Smith and Josh Sborz have been really freaking good for a month, and then this week they sucked. So you look at it this week and say, dadgum, Aroldis Chapman is electric. He's intimidating as hell. He throws 102. He's not walked a lot of batters since he's been here. He struck out a lot of batters. He should be the closer. But Will Smith has been very good as your closer. Josh Sborz has been very good for the last month until he wasn't against the Astros. So, man, should Aroldis Chapman be the closer? Yeah, probably. But Will Smith and Josh Sborz and the guys in the bullpen have to step back up if the Rangers are going to be World Series, playoff, whatever kind of top you want to put on it. Because it doesn't matter if it's the 7th, 8th, or 9th, a bullpen arm has to come out and be successful. It doesn't matter if you're throwing in the 5th because the starter gets bounced or the 9th. It's all leverage situations for a playoff team because you can't be giving up 6 runs whenever you want. And if the starter gives you 5 complete, you shouldn't lose games. If the starter leaves 5 scoreless and your bullpen is pretty rested, you shouldn't explode. You get a lot of opportunities there. Chapman and Spores are the shutdown inning relievers. Smith is the closest unless he collapses. Yes, well, Spores collapsed. Spores has been shut down, but he can't pitch twice in a row, which is ridiculous. You have to be able to pitch 2 days in a row. A Major League Baseball reliever should be able to pitch 2 days in a row. Josh Spores can't. He just can't. He hasn't in a month. He tried against the Astros, and it didn't go well. By the way, I was at that Astros Rangers series. Yes, all 10 fingers. Yes, Roy, I showed earlier. I was at the Rangers Astros series for the first 3 games. I was a little disappointed in the Rangers crowd. The Astros look like they outpaced the Rangers. They were more active. They were louder in spots, especially on that first night. The loudest pop of the night was the very first pitch where Jose Altuve absolutely nailed it on the screws. Boom, center field. That was the loudest cheer of the night, even though Josh Young and Jonah Heim went back-to-back later in the game. Very, very fun atmosphere, even though the Astros fans, it seemingly outnumbered the Rangers fans. From the starting line, chat line, how did you like the new ballpark? So I'd been there before. I went to a Rangers game last year with the roof open. It was nice. The roof was closed all 3 days when I was there this weekend. I think it was closed on Monday too. I like the new ballpark. I do. I think it's very functional. I think it looks really nice because it's new still. I like the concourse. It's a huge concourse. You're getting around fine. I like center field, the area there where you can stand and watch. I like the roof. It was very nice. It was a little chilly the second day we went when we stepped in the afternoon. We sat down the foul line. Seats were nice. We sat at the very top against the wall the second day for a couple innings. Didn't like that as much, but it wasn't a bad seat. It was a fine seat. I got up and walked around most of the game. I kind of like to do that every once in a while, just take it in from different vantage points. But it was wall-to-wall packed all weekend. It was really fun. It was really fun, and I liked the ballpark. That's now my second time there for a major league game. When I went for the college games, I literally sat in 16 different chairs because most of them are empty and it's all GA. So I've sat down the line, both sides. I've sat behind home plate 5 rows back. I've sat behind the dugouts. Pretty much everywhere in Ranger Stadium you can sit, I've sat for either a college game or the Rangers games, and I've liked all the seats. Yeah, I enjoyed. It was a good time. It was a fun time, but the Rangers lost 2 out of 3 I was there, so that wasn't as good. And then they lost when I wasn't there as well. The Astros, this is from Chase. He was also there. Astros dominated Rangers fans. Shows what a bandwagon will do. Yeah, and hopefully the Rangers get back to that. It was 50-50. It was 50-50. But good God, there were a lot of Astros fans, and they were hot. Not like attractive, but they were loud. Well, some of them were attractive too, but a lot of good-looking people. I understand why so many Astros fans are in Arlington. Have you been to Houston lately? I've been to Houston like 3 times this year. Not in the summer, though. Not in the summer. All right, this Power Ranking Wednesday. If you have a power ranking, you can drop them there in the starting line, chat line, right over there on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, come over to YouTube. It's a fun time. You can drop a chat in the starting line, chat line. Again, if you want to learn more about Starting Line, you can go to startinglinecounseling.com and schedule a free 15-minute consultation to get started with Chase. today? What else do we have today? Joe Toussaint committing to Texas Tech. The Rangers in about third or fourth, depending on what you want to do with the Astros in Major League Baseball. Probably projecting a couple of weeks forward. It's going to be the Astros, but the Rangers still have the lead. They just beat the Boston Red Sox. The Astros won again as well. So you keep your 3-game lead. The Texas Tech basketball roster went from young to veteran in a month. Yes. Look, I'm really impressed with McCasland and the roster he put together. I think it's going to be a good team. Will it be a great Big 12 team? I don't know. Are they tall enough? Is Washington going to have to play 30 minutes a game? Is the Big 12 just kind of going toward man. Do you know who the roster kind of looks like? It kind of looks like a Baylor roster. And I don't know, like guard heavy, lots of guards. You're going to be playing with 4 or 5 guards a game. You have some forwards in there and a couple of big bodies. And those big bodies are going to play a lot. And then they're going to go small and skip past you and 3 you to death. It just feels like a Baylor roster. Now, are you going to be as successful as Baylor has been? I don't know. But the roster management I have agreed with, liked. You got a 7-footer. So, Jacob says, I really hope Steffi has a similar freshman year to Pop. Yeah, I hope he gets some time. I hope Drew Steffi's not a starter. Nothing against Steffi. I hope he plays. I hope he's successful. I hope he doesn't have as many turnovers as Pop Isaacs as a freshman. But yeah, I hope he gets a lot of minutes and is productive if that's the role he has. I hope he does that. In some ways, I hope he doesn't have to. If all the guys you brought in are good and you can have a freshman at the end of the bench playing 10, 15, 5 minutes, you'll be good. Yeah, I have nightmares of everyone skip passing us last year. And in those final 2 years of Chris Beard, just doing whatever they wanted. Ridiculous. It's amazing how different the defense was from year to year, the year before and the year after. Everyone is sleeping on Lamar Washington, says Luke. Who's sleeping on him? Just because Jacob hopes he has a similar freshman year to Pop, Steffi? I think Lamar Washington's going to play a ton. I honestly have no idea who's going to start. Warren Washington, Pop Isaacs. I don't know who else. I don't. I couldn't even pretend to answer that. I could pretend. I'm a pretty good pretender. But I don't know. Yeah. That'd be a tough question to answer. I do want to talk about football recruiting as well. It's been hot. Now, you are not perfect bringing in high school players, but you did get A.J. McCarty this week and like 17 other defensive backs out of the high school class. I think you're up to 17 or 18 with the uncommitted, committed, silent commits. But it does look like What is going on here? But it does look like you're pretty close to filling out this class. Now, initially, they said 18 was the limit. I don't think 18 is the limit anymore. As I believe you have 18 announced right now. Still some that were said to be silent commits that have not committed yet. I think there are a few silent commits that would be have committable offers whenever they want them, depending on. I don't really think it depends on anything. You can find places for these guys. You can find scholarships. You can move scholarships. You can, especially with the Matador Club, you can be moving around quite a bit at the bottom end. But guys who have committed lately, on July 2nd, Peyton Morgan, 4-star defensive back. June 27th, Edward Smith, Ghost, I believe they call him, a 6'5.5", 250 defensive end, edge rusher. July 2nd, Oliver Miles, 6-foot safety. On July, that was last year. July 3rd, Isaiah Collins, safety, 6'3". Then July 1st, 6'1" safety. Lots of safeties, lots of defensive backs. And just because you play safety in high school doesn't mean you're going to play safety here, but is what it is. Casey Poe would be the biggest get of this class. We need SEC-style offensive line guys. Yeah. Micah Hudson would be a huge get. Casey Poe would be the bigger one. Not just physically, but if there's one thing to out-recruit Texas for a wide receiver, especially with Zach Kitley, especially with what you're doing there. It would be a whole nother thing to out-recruit an offensive lineman from Nick Saban. Hey, and currently Micah Hudson, who knows if he's committing? And Casey Poe is announcing very soon, I believe. Starter 179 on the starting line chat line says, so basically our defensive backfield is loaded. I would amend that comment to, so basically our defensive backfield is loaded for 2025. Because these guys will take a while. But you got 3 really good mid-season freshmen in, so they'll be gray-shirted. Gray shirt is just coming in a semester early. But they've already been really good in spring football. I think they'll play a couple of them. Brendan Jordan, you'll probably see quite a bit. Maybe you try to redshirt them all. You have a very, very veteran defensive backfield this year, but it's kind of thin. Like, you got some freshmen, some redshirt freshmen, and then like super seniors. You don't really have a lot of depth there. Now these freshmen and second-year players are going to have to step up. Yes, you also got the Baylor transfer. That was the A.J. McCarty name I said first. From Baylor, was in line to fight for a starting job at Baylor. Has committed to Texas Tech. Love that pickup. I think he could push Rashad Williams for snaps, starter snaps. Jacob says, I love when campus is empty and quiet, but boy, am I ready for some football in a couple of months. It is very close. Very, very close to football season. All right. That's all I have today. Very, very appreciative of the starting line chat line. Both the sponsorship from Chase Wade Go to startinglinecounseling.com to find out more about him. And also just the production here on the chat line. Very, very hot today. Very, very good. But we've gone 30 minutes. That's where I try to keep it to. So I am Rob Breaux. I've been Rob Breaux. I'll be Rob Breaux. We'll see you then.